Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to episode 15 of the Live Life Goldyn Show. We are going to talk about strengthening your intuition. What a wonderful conversation we're going to have around how do you know what your intuition is? How do you turn the voice up of your intuition? What even is intuition? Why do we need it? Why is it important? And why are we even talking about it? So let's get into the subject of intuition. It is a really interesting concept that we have this mind that's always talking to us and telling us things, and that we are not our mind. And when you begin a meditation practice, you start to have that space that allows you to start creating from your intuitive voice. It allows you to turn the volume up of your intuitive voice and turn the volume down of the mind that always wants to keep you safe and the same. And the mind also loves to work on problems. So it's always going to look for reasons to feel dissatisfied. When you start getting hip to the mind and you start understanding how the mind works, you can stop the activation and the cycles of those neural pathways and loops that have kept you stuck, that have kept you in cycles that you no longer want to be a part of, that you're starting to recognize are not creating what you want. So intuition. So I want to jump into a little bit about my weekend because I have a really important concept that goes along with my weekend. So recently, within the last couple of months, I had a real solid understanding, download of information about being dissatisfied with what is. So I had shared on a couple of episodes ago how we were in this beach house in Newport, California. It was amazing. And there were these moments that I would have where I would feel dissatisfaction, like this person should be here or this should be this way. And I wasn't happy and present with the moment. And because I've created so much space between my mind and my real desire, I started to recognize that the mind was doing that to me, and I was able to stop it. I was able to stop that momentum before it created more dissatisfaction and stole my joy from me, literally stole my joy from me. So this weekend was July 4th. Happy birthday, America. I am an American through and through and proud of my country, and really focusing on the fact that we create our own realities, we create our own freedom, and that America is alive and well. We watched the New York City fireworks, and it gave me so much hope and so much just love for our country and what we represent and who we are as people. And I think we've got to really grab onto that right now and really grab onto who we are and what we are bringing to the table and take our eyes off of all the stuff that we've been dissatisfied about. So in the past, on July 4th, in the past couple of years, we stay home. And the reason for that is because we get like 10 different fireworks displays from our house. We can see like 10 different towns. It's absolutely amazing. We have an incredible view from where we live. So why go out? We spend a lot of time in traffic with little kids, going to the fireworks, and we're definitely over that. So a few years ago, my daughter had moved from California back to Connecticut, and I remember feeling a lot of sadness around that 4th of July, and it was like I was grieving her, and it was really hard. I remember feeling very sad. And last year, we had gone to a pool party during the day, and then we came home, and we were like in bed by 9:00, and it was fine. I didn't feel any misery over that or anything. It is what it is, was kind of my feeling. This year, we made a solid decision to stay home. And we actually worked for most of the day. I have this group program that I'm doing that's calling a lot of energy and focus. And my husband has a lot of job bids and things that he's doing. So it felt good. We were super productive on Sunday and we got a lot of things accomplished. And then around 4:00, we went to the grocery store and we got a beautiful dinner that we made together, and we made a super healthy dessert, and we just enjoyed each other's company, like enjoyed the heck out of it, and just were super present and saw this amazing fireworks display and just really felt like very strongly that nothing needed to be different. I had no FOMO. I have neighbors now that are lighting off tons of fireworks. They're having a huge party at the end of the street. And then I have neighbors right next door that are having a party, and they're all laughing and having a good time. And it was awesome. It was awesome to hear that stuff and not feel like I was missing out on anything. So if you're doing a lot of that, if you're doing a lot of that FOMO stuff, right? Like, I'm missing out on life, I'm not having a good time, we didn't do anything this year, then I would caution you, I would call you, I would invite you to start looking at those things, to start looking at the ways in which you allow your joy to be stolen, because everything is perfect in this moment. When we lend ourselves to presence, when we truly become present to the people that we're with, to the love that we have available to us. And if you were alone on 4th of July, there are ways to really bask in that as well. To run yourself a bath, to watch a funny movie, to do the things that you really love, because there's no one there to tell you that you can't do it. And there's no distraction. Being alone is actually one of my favorite things. I love it. I mean, I adore my family, I adore my husband, but I don't mind being alone. I no longer feel lonely. So if you feel lonely when you're alone, I would definitely ask you to start going within and start forging that relationship with yourself and your self-love, because there is a very valuable and precious time that you are being given in your life to activate that self-love, to work on yourself internally, and to become more present with all of the gifts that you are being given. And you don't need a ton of money and you don't need a ton of friends. The truth is, you create your own reality, you create your own joy. And if you did have some, miserable moments, or if you were feeling down about this holiday because you weren't able to do the things that you normally love to do, then that's okay too, because that's just creating more desire for you. I just would love for you to become more aware of those ways in which you are keeping yourself from really feeling that high vibrational frequency of love and appreciation and living in the moment and understanding that life is very precious. And when we can get into that joy-filled space, we create so much more. We create so much more of it, because this moment is conducting what's going to be created in the next moment. So what is your intuition? So the way that I understand intuition, and the way that I've become, in relationship with my intuition, is it's that quiet voice inside. So as I've gotten quieter and quieter within in my meditation practice, my intuition voice has gotten stronger and stronger. It's like sometimes it can be like this just very small voice, but as you get stronger in your meditation practice and set more intention for that relationship with yourself, your intuition is going to start to kick up, and it's going to kick up from a place of wholeness. That's what intuition is. It's not fragmentation. It's not doing things to please others. It's not giving of yourself until you're empty. Intuition is that voice inside of you that is your truth. It's the connection to your truth. And the more you meditate and uncover and release emotions and old false belief systems, the stronger that intuition is going to become. And then you're going to be walking through life getting these hits, and you're going to be listening, and you're going to be following the hits. And as you follow the hits, miracles are going to happen, opportunities, people, things, situations, synchronicities are going to come into play that are going to surprise and delight you. And they still surprise and delight me. No matter how much time has passed, no matter how many things that I've manifested, that my husband's manifested, that my kids have manifested, we are still surprised and delighted. In fact, recently we were in the car and we were driving to, I don't even remember where we were going. We were going to meet friends. Oh, we were going to meet friends for dinner and dancing. And this was Fun Friday. So I was in the frequency of like so much fun. We had a lot of fun during the day. It was fast fun, but it was really great. And then we were going to dinner with the same people and dancing. And I love dancing. I love live music. It just lights me up. And I have more capacity for joy because I have had an absence of that in this past year. So it feels even better, which is so cool. So we are driving and we're talking about some things that have happened in our life, and we love to revisit things from time to time. And we were talking about the things that had happened that allowed us to really grow our faith. And the one story that I shared in episode 14, which if you haven't listened to episode 14, please do, because I just listened to it. I know I'm crazy. I do listen to myself, but I do it in the purpose of refining my shows and making them better, but also so that I don't do a bunch of repetition. I like to listen to what I've already shared with you guys. But literally, I'm listening to this show today and I'm getting chills from my own story. How cool is that? And I'm getting tears from my own story. Just remembering those things and being where I am now, it just feels really good. So we're talking about the story of when I found $100 on the ground. And as soon as we're talking about it, my husband's like, so many of those things have happened that have surprised and delighted us. It's like, can we still be surprised and delighted? And as he says this, a car drives by us that says Our Faith, and it has this like sparkly license plate around it. I was like, oh, it was such a cool moment where we both just went, oh yeah, yep, we can still be surprised and delighted by a little license plate. So much, so cool. And the sparkles around it was like another up level for me because I love the sparkles. So that was amazing. So yes, you can still be surprised and delighted no matter how much you've manifested. My daughter today recently got a new job. So she had a little bit of struggle coming out of high school and went into the military for a little bit, and that didn't work out. And then now she had started working at a car dealership, and she made great money and she was doing well there. And but it was really long hours, like way longer hours than she was interested in. And she decided, so I start like kicking up like, like she's going to quit her job when she doesn't have another job, because that's, past experience. And that's like the things that I need to work through to let go for her. And so I just decided the other day, like, I'm going to let that go and I'm going to trust in her ability to create. And she ends up getting a new job, letting the other job go. And it's a fantastic job. Like, she's super excited. She loves the people. It's a family environment, and it's like 8 to 5. So she calls me today, first day on the job, and she looked adorable when she left the house. She had a cute little dress and some tennis shoes. And it's working at like a collision place, like high end, like for Bentleys and Ferraris and things like that. She calls me and she says she got to work, and her one of the owners came and did not like what she was wearing. Like, the tennis shoes were, and the dress was like too short. And so he gave her a $500 clothing budget and told her to go buy new clothes. I'm like, really? I love when my kids manifest stuff. It was just so cool. So I told her, I said, you got to call your dad with some good news, because people don't do that enough, I think, in our family, is to call their dad with good news. So she called her dad, and then he called me, and he goes, you're just not cute enough. I want to give you $500 for clothes. But he was kidding. And I was like, really? Because I would have just up-leveled that whole manifestation for me. But he takes care of me. He does. And I have plenty of cute clothes. All right. So your intuition, the very first thing you have to do is create that space, right? I have told you guys time and time again that meditation is your most important thing. It's your best friend. It's what's going to help you to uncover, release, and become more, to become the truth of who you are, and to turn up that volume of intuition so you can start hearing it. And when I say that you're going to start hearing it from a whole and healed place, I mean that you're going to start uncovering those emotions. It may get a little rocky there for a bit, where things start coming up. I do know people who cried for days when they started a meditation practice. I do know people that got super angry and like thrashed about and had to vent and let things go. But if you don't do that, these emotions are underneath and they are creating. So you have the frequency that you are emitting are those emotions that are underneath, which is why you are having cycles in your life, which is why you are having stuck energy that is creating, and you don't understand why you can't get out of your own way. So going within is important. Doing release work, allowing those emotions to release. I do have a group on Facebook called M21 Revolution. You can join it for free. There's tons of emotional releases that I've done in there, and my partner Jess. And then very soon I'll be offering some more on that. Listening to your heart more means you're getting out of your mind. So in order to do that, you have to take some deep breaths. You got to get into your body, because when you are in your mind, you are a victim to the mind. When you are just like, going through things over and over again, you're in these neural pathways that are old. They don't serve you. They're repetitious. They're telling you all the reasons why you can't do things. So in order to get into your heart and to really listen to what your heart is calling you to, you've got to take a couple of deep breaths. You got to get into that heart space, and you have to ask yourself, what do I really want from this situation? What do I really want to manifest? What do I really want to happen? When you start asking those questions, you start activating energy and you start activating answers, because you're asking the right questions now. You're not asking questions like, why am I so stuck? Or why am I still here? You're not asking those questions anymore. You're actually asking questions that activate answers. So it's a really powerful way to start activating that intuition. Asking within more and connecting your breath to your heart. So when you go within and take those deep breaths and really settle into the space, it may be uncomfortable at first. There may be things that need to come through, that need to come up, but stick with it. Definitely stick with it, because that is the key. Also, when you first start a meditation practice, or even if you're 20 years into a meditation practice, there are times that you're going to have to, continue to lash that mind, to try to tame that mind, to get it to sit down, to get it to be quiet. Setting strong intentions in the beginning of your meditation practice is a great way to tell your mind you are serious. I'm going deep. I'm going within. I like to call myself deeper throughout my meditation practice. There's a really great meditation by Fred Dodson called Now and Forever. That's a great release meditation. I love it. It's only about 10 minutes. So I do that for 10 minutes, and then I do silence for 10 minutes. I did that this morning. I feel clean. I feel good. Living life through more intention. So we tend to live life through, default. Like whatever's happening, we're just reacting, and we're just like kind of letting life have its way with us. That is a very victimhood way to live your life. That is a very powerless way to live your life. And that is the way most of us have been taught to live our life. So this is about taking our power back and living life through intention. Like today I wake up and this is my intention. My intention today is to find fun. On Fun Fridays, when we do Fun Fridays, like our intention is fun. We start the day off by jumping, like jumping off of things and taking pictures. And it gets us hysterical, which then throughout the day, everything is funny because we're in the frequency of fun. And last Friday, when we spent the day together and then we went out that night, it just went into the night where there was just constant laughter. And it was such a good time. It was such a good time. The night kept up leveling for sure. It was just a blast. So what is your intention? What is your mastery of focus for your life? Is your mastery of focus for your life to pay your bills? That's not very fun. Been there. I've been there for sure. And it's easy to do when you have a lot of bills and you don't have a lot of income, and you're just like, you feel like you're in the struggle all the time. But understand that you are tuning the frequency of struggle when you live that way. So if your mastery of focus is abundance, what are the things that you can do to activate your abundance, to feel abundant, to feel like you're free, to feel lighter? That those are times you got to get into meditation. You got to do things that you love and enjoy. You got to, every minute you can activate that feeling. What does abundance even feel for me? People don't ask that question enough. What does abundance even feel for me? Is abundance equate to money, or does it just equate with freedom? Abundance really is just a higher vibrational. I heard a definition once, which I thought was really cool. Abundance is having the ability to do what you want when you want to do it. So you could be given a beach house. You don't necessarily have to pay for the beach house. You don't necessarily need the funds. You could be given a trip to Hawaii. You don't necessarily have to pay for your trip to Hawaii. So it's getting out of that idea that things have to come a certain way, that money is the only avenue to abundance, and that you don't have enough of it. because that blocks all the flow. That blocks everything. Every potential that could come to you from the field is blocked because you have one idea of how it could come, and you're only thinking of that. God, we have been surprised and delighted so many times. Like, there's so much potential for creation. It's amazing. Setting solid intentions for how you want to feel and then creating a life based around that. So if you wake up every day and you do the same thing over and over again every single day, you get up, you brush your teeth, you go to the bathroom, you take a shower, you eat the same breakfast, you take the same route to work, you go to the same job, you talk to the same people, you do the same thing over and over and over again, you don't have a lot of potential to create energy. You are in a flow of just life force being very much the same. Like, no desire is being called through you, no life force. And this happens to a lot of people because they lose their ability to dream because that dream feels too big and it hurts. So if they just don't think about it and they just go through the motions and pay their bills, a lot of people get to the end of that experience, and retire. And how many of them die right away? And how many of them feel lost or, sad, depressed because now they don't have a purpose? What? Who said that we had to stop creating at the age of 65? That's a social programming that we need to let go of. I know I've shared this before, but there's many people, many inventors, many successful people that literally created huge empires of abundance at the age of 60, 65. So there is no such thing as retirement and stopping and not creating more flow for yourself. In fact, sometimes retirement could create more engagement with abundance because you're no longer stuck to this job that has given you a certain amount of money. I've also seen this with the government, and I want to share this today because it's just on my heart and I feel like it's important to understand this. I have seen a lot of people who get stuck because they're either on disability or Social Security, or, unemployment right now is huge, right? A lot of people on unemployment. And because of that, they don't want to create. So they keep themselves stuck in this very confining condition because they don't want to lose the finite amount of abundance that someone is giving them, whether it be the government or whatever. They don't want to lose it. So therefore, they keep themselves in the same place and no longer create because they don't want to risk that small amount of money. So recognize where you keep yourself from abundance. That definitely could be a potential. And I'm not saying to get off disability or let go of your Social Security. I'm not saying that. Because that's flow, right? That's money coming to you and that's wonderful. I'm just saying, don't allow it to keep you stuck. Don't allow it to keep you in a place where there's a ceiling that is lower than you want to go, because there's so much potential in the field for us to create from, that when we put these barriers on ourselves, we create a lot of stuck energy and a lot of blockage and a lot of belief systems that keep us stuck, that keep us from creating what we really want and keep us from creating our dreams, Take the time to bypass the mind. So it's so easy for us to get in these monkey minds. It's so easy for us to just listen to the mind. It's so easy for us to allow our minds to talk us out of stuff. When you really have a desire and you really want something, the best thing you can do then is just keep talking yourself into it. Keep talking yourself into it. Don't let anybody talk you out of it, especially yourself, because that's what the mind's going to do, because it's designed to keep you safe and it's designed to keep you the same. Also realize most of your belief systems were created by the age of 5 to 7. So a lot of us are operating from those 5-year-old belief systems. And those belief systems were created around, fear, around parents or, adults that we were watching that probably weren't in alignment with abundance or truth. Or, I've I've coached hundreds of people. I've done energy healing with hundreds of people. I have yet to meet anyone that said they had a super amazing childhood with nothing to work on from it, with no trauma. I have yet to see not one person. So those 5-year-old belief systems, those things that our parents gave to us, that our teachers gave to us, that our siblings or our peers, our friends, our bullies, all those people that were around us creating, set us up for certain things that we wanted to work on, that we wanted that full human experience, to know our powerlessness, to know our unworthiness, so that we could step more fully into our power and to work through that growth, that release work, letting go of those old systems, those old beliefs. Trusting and believing your inner truth and that your heart desires matter. That's a whole other level of really getting to know yourself and letting go of the low self-esteem, the low self-confidence, the things that you were told that you couldn't do, the things you were told that you weren't good at, those things that you told yourself you were afraid of. All of those things have created situations and experiences that are not optimal. They're not what you want anymore. They're not serving you anymore. They're very old. They're outdated. We need an update on your system. When you really get into your practice and start quieting the mind and get into the practice of asking within, right? Going in your body, going in your heart, asking yourself what you really want and what you really believe to be true. Like what are the false belief systems underneath this that I would have to believe in order to feel this way? A lot of times there are beliefs that we don't really believe anymore, but they're running our operating systems because we've never gone in to check. It's like all these things are happening and we're not even looking to see what's happening. So when we start to go within and start to uncover these false belief systems, one of the ones that we're doing in our group right now is writing on a index card, putting it all over the place, I am a powerful creator. Because even if you have manifest hundreds and hundreds of things in your life, it's so easy to forget. And when you forget, then you get into that, that feeling of distrust of yourself, distrust of the universe. And when you step back into your remembering, I think that's what one of my main missions and purposes on this earth is, to remind people of who they are, to remind them that they're powerful creators, to remind them that they have this power within, and to wake that up in those that forgot. So when you can remind yourself, right, when you can look at that belief system and say, where is the evidence that I am not a powerful creator? And then start looking at the ways that, okay, where's the evidence that I am a powerful creator, and writing down those manifestations, writing down those things. And if you're new to this game, it's easy to look back and even look at the ways that you manifested things you didn't want because of your focus, because of your attention, because of your wounds, because of your traumas, because of the things you haven't healed yet. So if you look at that, you can say, you're a powerful creator on the other side. You were a powerful creator before you even knew you were a powerful creator. And now it's time to shift that and start creating what is positive, what is really in the field of potential for you, which is like, whew, fantastic. All right. So the reason why things don't manifest for you or for those around you, or for, for things that you've had very strong, strong desire for, there's a couple of reasons why things aren't manifesting. One, the energy is not strong enough. And when I say that, what I mean is a lot of people will put out there that they want something, but they have no idea why. They have, they look at like Hollywood stars. I don't know why, but this like person came into my mind when I was thinking about this concept. They look at Hollywood stars, they look at these facades, like the Kardashians and all the super, super, super wealthy people, right? And they think, I want that. Like, I want the stuff. I want all the stuff. I want all the cars. But the truth is, like, if you were to dig deep and ask yourself why. Like, why do you want those things? Why do you want the big house? And like, do you have any idea like what kind of responsibility comes with that? And I remember hearing a thing about super wealthy people. Like, I watch those shows, Millionaires and Billionaires or whatever the show was. And they said on the show, super wealthy people don't own homes, they own properties. So they don't have the attachment to the home. Now, when I think about that, I don't want that. That's not what I want. I love luxury. I love beautiful things. I love beach homes. I love that stuff, but I also love a home. I love to create a home. I love a connection with a home. I love being in a home. So I don't think that I want 20 homes that I have no connection with that just feel like a place I'm hanging my hat for a little bit. So in order for you to really conduct energy on your desires, you got to work them through. You got to ask yourself, why do I want that? And the other piece of it is, if I do want that, am I willing to do what it takes to get it? In the respect of this, okay, so let's say you're single, and let's say you want to manifest a soulmate. Like, you want that lover. I posted a thing on Facebook today about my relationship with my husband and how much gratitude I have for him, and how we're like the bestest friends in the universe. Like, we love being together. We could talk for hours. We have like slumber parties where we just like can't stop talking to each other when we're going to bed. And it's wonderful. And I post those things and I share those things because I want people to see what's possible. I want them to see what's in their field of potential. Because if I'm in your field of potential and I have this wonderful relationship, then that means you can create it too, because it's in your quantum field, right? Like, it's around you, it's in your experience. So you have to get out of the wishing and hoping for it and get into a stronger connection with it. And I'm going to show you how. So if you want this lover, right, this amazing soulmate that's just like your best friend, there may be things that you have not been able to wrap your head around as far as creating that. One is the love that you feel for yourself. Like, I've done a lot of work on loving myself. There was a long time where I was looking to my husband to fill me up, and it created a lot of angst in our relationship. There was always a lackful vibe there, until I started doing work within, until I started recognizing the love that I have for myself, that unconditional love that I am an expression of. That was a huge piece of our relationship coming together in a stronger and more beneficial light. There's other things too, like if you're always used to doing things that you want to do, when you're in a relationship, it's not always like that. There's a lot of give and take. There's a lot of giving and receiving. There's a lot of compromise. There's a lot of, doing things for the love of someone else, doing things not from an empty place, from a very fulfilling, overflowing, loving place. You may not be there yet. You may not have that foundation. When it comes to creating a lot of wealth, a lot of abundance, if you are feeling broke, if you're feeling constricted, if you're feeling imprisoned by your financial condition, you are not in the frequency of it. So I see these people who are wishing and hoping and praying and working on their manifestation game, but they're not doing any of the internal work. They're not tuning the dial. They're not tuning the frequency to abundance. They don't feel abundant. They don't feel worthy of abundance. They're not even close to being abundant. So it's about cleaning up that internal work and then asking those questions. How can I feel more abundant? What can I do to feel abundant? How can I create in the field of potential? And then noticing and looking, right? That mastery of focus is focusing you in to all those things around you that are in your field that are giving you signs. Go this way, come this way, it's over here. And so it's waking up that intuition so that you can start following those signs and start activating more of the energy that will tune you into the frequency. If you're not feeling good and you're feeling, super low, unloved, broke, depressed, you are not even close to where you want to be. So you have to start doing the internal work to clean that up. It's the way it works. So the not enough, strong enough energy conduction is something that I see a lot of people waiting. I see a lot of people in this energy of waiting, wishing, hoping, um, you know, not doing anything towards what they want to create. When you do that, you're slowing down the energy. The energy field gets real slow because there's no conduction of energy. There's no conduction of faith. There's no conduction of possibility or potential when you're just sitting there, wishing, hoping, visualizing. Visualizing's great. It's great. I did lots of it for sure. But if you're just visualizing and you're not changing your state, Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about this. If you're just visualizing and you're not actually feeling it, if you're not activating the frequency and actually putting yourself there like you're the main character in the movie and you're feeling it, like the steering wheel is in your hands, the keys are in your hands, you are behind the steering wheel, you are behind the windshield, looking out. If you're not feeling that identity, you have no activation of your desire in the quantum field. It's just a pipe dream. It's just, a lot of people make dream boards. Dream boards are great. Dream boards are great. However, if a dream board doesn't evoke a feeling from you that is of excitement, is of potential, is of, I know it's coming, faith, all of that stuff. If it doesn't evoke those feelings, it's just paper on a wall. That's it. I had a dream board. Not one single thing came true. Nothing. I don't even know where it is. But if you have a dream board and it evokes a bunch of feelings from you and it changes your state and it gets you really excited every time you look at it, then it's valuable because then you're actually tuning into the frequency. That's my 2 cents on that. The other part of tuning into the frequency is the idea of unworthiness. So I did a whole show on worthiness that you should definitely listen to if you have issues with worthiness, and just about every single one of us does. It was episode 13, Know Your Worth, and the potentials for how your unworthiness gets set into place. I mean, if you're part of any religion, we basically come into this earth unworthy, right? Like those are the first things that we hear is that we're sinners and, right? We need to be baptized. We need to be saved. Like all of those social programmings that we've been taught don't lend themselves to worthiness. They definitely don't. So pay attention to what has been told to you, the social programmings, the belief systems that have been put in place, and start working on your worthiness and start working on the belief system of your deservedness. The fact that you are here, that you are a creator, and that you came into this human experience means you are worthy. You are worthy for just being. No one will tell you that. This whole society is all based on what can you materialize. That's what your worthiness is, what you can materialize, what you can, what you can show everybody. That's what worthiness is based on in our society. And it does us a great disservice because it doesn't recognize those who have created incredible things that were not material possessions, an incredible life. I had a thing, and I don't know if I ever shared this, but I was thinking about the fact that Mother Teresa died the same day that Princess Diana died. So Mother Teresa got no attention. And a lot of people had said that was like so wrong. And I thought she did that. Like she set that up because she never wanted the attention. She was truly living a life of service, devoid of ego. And so to die when Princess Diana died on the same day meant that, people wouldn't be fawning over her. And I thought that was so interesting because the real value in life, the true purposes that we create in life are so much more than what the social programming has been given to us. Our families, our parenting, our love, our relationships, those are the real golds in life. When you get to the end of your days, it's not about the money. It's not about the material possessions. No one is going to high five you on your way to heaven and say, good job with the mansion. Nobody's going to do that. The truth is, it's like, how well did you live? How well did you love? And how present were to the life? Like, how much joy did you create? What a cool thing that would be if we gave out awards to people who created joy instead of just material possessions or movies. How cool would that be? Yeah, change that. Okay, too much wishing and hoping, not enough action and knowing. So when you're wishing and hoping and you're putting yourself in a place of, I can't do this yet, and there's a lot of things in my way, you're putting roadblocks. You're setting up roadblocks on your pathway to what the field could be delivering to you. So you're literally just like blocking the path. If you really want to start creating and activating from a place of knowing, it's about believing. It's about trusting. It's about feel like I always think about this when I'm doing like identity creation stuff, when they say like act as if, right? I always think about, if I was living that right now, how would I feel? Like, what would I do? How would I feel? How would I conduct myself? How would I dress? How would I, like, what would my vibe be? What would my vibration be? Would I be pretty ecstatic? Would I be like super excited? Would I be just like, ha? Like, would I be that way? You know? So you gotta get into that feeling place of that identity of what's being created. If you're miserable where you are, you can't activate new energy to go to the next place. And then that action is super important. The reason why action is important is because if you're not doing anything towards what you're looking to create, you're deactivating all the energy. So, right, we're slowing the energy down. We're not telling the universe, hell yes. We're not engaging with potentials and possibilities. I mean, it could be as much as like writing something down, journaling it, feeling it, and then every day getting up and saying, what can I do towards that? What can I do towards that dream? Can I, if it's a business I want, can I create some worksheets? Can I create some, whatever it is you want to create? If it's a lover I want, can I get ready for that lover? Can I make myself presentable? Can I get into more self-love so that I am a reflection? So that when that person comes into my life, I'm so clean and clear. I'm so full of self-love that the relationship doesn't need a ton of work. I don't need to be triggered a ton, and I don't need to trigger this person a ton to work on my stuff. Can I work on my stuff now? Can I get ready? Can I get ready to be ready? That's what you need to ask yourself. What can I do to get ready to get ready? To get ready, right? Am I going to sit around this house in my pajamas? Because that's not really getting ready. That's not getting ready for nothing. That's getting ready for more of the same, more depression, more Netflix, right? Who needs more Netflix? Nobody. I think we have tapped out in Netflix. So what can I do to be ready to get ready? And if you have questions on this, please email me at livelifegolden@gmail.com, or you can connect with me on Facebook or Instagram, because I love helping people shift. I love helping people see things in a different perspective and helping them to activate that frequency that creates cool stuff. I love being part of that. I love being part of the creation process. It's just, God, it's super rewarding. Okay. I think we went through all that. Your intuition. Okay. Pay attention to the story around whatever it is. So pay attention to the story. So we're doing some work in my group, and it's unbelievable. It's amazing. Like the way that this group is diving deep into their stories, into their old stories. You have to be honest. You got to be truthful about where you are. You got to be truthful about the way you feel, because you're emitting the frequency. You can tell yourself all day long that you feel good, but if you don't, you're not emitting the frequency. Nobody's buying it. People may see your fake smile and think you're okay, but energy is the true conductor. Energy is the true conductor. So getting really truthful about the way you feel is going to help you to uncover those false belief systems. So get honest. Write it down. What's your old story about that? And then do some release work, breathing, letting go, recognizing the false belief systems, and then write down what you want to create and start activating the energy of what you want to create by letting go of that old stuck story. It's not serving you. It's keeping you in the same place. Uh, acting as if, we talked about acting as if. Don't throw out your winter clothes. Don't do that. Just don't. That's not a good way to act as if. Other ways you can act as if is, you know, if you're stuck in the house, like if you're just home all the time, it's getting out more. It's putting yourself in opportunities. When my husband and I were going through, a lot of our financial stuff, we had joined a network marketing company that I shared. It was called Send Out Cards. We're still a part of it. I just love it. It's like sending cards and gifts through your computer, and they're real cards and real gifts. If you've ever gotten a card from me, that's where it comes from. I do all my Christmas cards. I send out like a couple hundred Christmas cards. You can custom design them with your pictures. And I adore this company. That company was the reason that I understand law of attraction. That's why that was when law of attraction came into my life. What you send out is what you create, right? And so when we were doing that, it was so funny. I was thinking about this morning. There was one very pivotal day, and it was like 2009. It was like the winter of 2009, and man, was the shit going down. And I remember my husband, he was so unhappy, just doing horrible jobs for horrible people because we were just taking whatever came. And I remember him looking at me and saying, we have to do this. Like, you have to do this. And like, network marketing was not even in my realm of anything I wanted to do. We had a brief stint with Amway, and I hated the way I felt about that. And my dad made really bad fun of me. And there was, a lot of social programming with the pyramid schemes and all of that. So it wasn't something that I ever wanted to do, but I loved the system and I thought it was a great idea. And when he looked at me and said that, like in total desperation, like something ignited and I went crazy. Like I was doing like 6 meetings a day with people, showing them this system. And it was like $400 to sign up. And we signed up hundreds and hundreds of people. And we did really well in the company. It wasn't something that was sustainable for us. Like after we did it for about 7 years. But after a while, it just, I don't know, the energy shifted. A lot of things changed in the company. Our upline left, and the CEO was so good to us, like so good to us. Like, talk about miracles, creating miracles. That man was an absolute angel to us. I love him to death to this day. His family, they're amazing and good people. It's a great company. But my point in saying that was I got into action. I got into like a lot of action, and I got myself in every networking group. I got myself out with people every opportunity I could. I was always out of the house, and I created a lot from that. I created a lot of momentum. We created a lot of success. My husband helped me as well. It wasn't that he didn't do it. He was, working during the day, and then we were doing stuff at night. We drove to New York. We drove to Boston. I mean, for like one meeting, we would do this. And we did it because we were in action. We were in action that we trusted and believed in abundance. And because of that, so many other opportunities came. Like, it was because of that an opportunity came that changed our financial condition at that time, because we were in the element of action, because we were in the element of creating and just moving. Like, just keep moving forward. If you keep moving forward, like, you can't fail if you don't stop. So if you just keep going and you keep activating and you keep driving and you keep intending and you keep activating that energy, you're going to create. So awesome. Wasn't planning on sharing that story, but geez, that was like, we've had a couple of situations and a couple of conversations in our marriage that were like pivotal. And that was one. And then the other one was when we made that definite decision to book plane tickets to California. Like, that's the kind of shit that creates. Like, when you make a solid decision and there is no turning back, whoo, it like lights the skies on fire, right? It ignites that fire within you, and you just drive it. You just drive it. And that's how like quantum leaps are made, when you have that solid intention and nothing stops you, and you're fierce. You're absolutely fierce because you're done living an experience that is below the level of your potential. That's where we were at. We had so much struggle, so much strife, so much times of not paying our bills. We just got so sick and tired of it that we became fierce. We decided to turn on the ignition of our creation power. And because of that, wow, man, have we created stuff. It's so cool. So thank you for being with me today. It was a super fun conversation. As far as like your intuition goes, you have one. It's in there. It's super strong. Set intentions to turn up that dial. Start listening, start asking and then listening. Many times we don't listen. Like we just ask and ask and ask. I'll say to people, they'll go, yeah, I don't know why this isn't manifesting. Like I've done this and I've done that and I've done this. And I'm like, well, you've asked and you've asked and you've asked and you've asked. And now it's time to like let the universe do its thing and just let go for a little while. Just allow the energy to come in. Allow that co-creative partnership to ignite by trusting, by having faith. Like when you get to the point in your manifestation journey where you have done everything you can, you have exhausted all potentials, you have, done all the action you can do, that's when the real miracles happen, because then you finally let go. You're like, I've done everything I can do. Now it's up to you. And that's when you really activate that energy to come in and assist you, because now you're creating space for it. Now you're not in the energy of if it's to be, it's up to me only. Now you're in the invitation of the partnership and the trust that it's coming. All right. I love you all. Thank you for another great show, and peace.